when last we saw our intrepid collective of heroes, the Dankus trauma, yes. Iona had just flat out abandoned everyone and run away with Solus. Because that's what you do. He's the romanceable NPC, and Iona has decided that you want to get her Dreadwolf on. What are you going to do? And leaving behind poor Jesper, who is minus one finger now, having been severely mauled by one Theodora, the sweet church lady, who proceeded to cut Jesper's finger off in order to save her, perhaps, or it's not too clear exactly what went down there. But to cut off a ring that was fusing itself to the bone of her finger. Meanwhile, Vila was being, first of all, possessed by a shade, and then taken to the Fade, where she was tortured by the Blood Mage, Merite, until Jesper and Theodora showed up to rescue her. And the three of them, working together, managed to escape the Fade, although Merite also escaped. Who was it that used the time? It was Gina, right? It was Theodora who great use of a spell, a little bubble of protection that also prevented Merite from doing her own action, so they were able to escape. Upon returning, they realized that Vila was afflicted with the taint and had not a lot of time left before the taint might take over and turn her into some sort of dark spawn, which is bad. It is a bad thing, especially when you've just become a Blood Mage. Vila, making all the good decisions. They are good. They are very good. And so, as we pick up tonight, the group has sort of been sundered to a certain degree, with Iona off to the Elven camp in the Silent Plains, while the other three remain in the Deep Roads, because there is a brood mother nearby, and the Darkspawn have been very active, feeding her and bringing captives from the surface down into the tunnels. So the lot of them are hiding out, where we find them now. But first, as always, few words from the GM. Dissonant verses are fault lines in our soul. With but the tiniest of pressure, they threaten to crack open and split apart what should cling together. In hard times, in dark times, it is easy to point the finger, easy to assign blame for our ills to others, rather than face up to our own part in their creation. But if even the Dreadwolf himself can ruminate on and come to terms with the mistakes of his past, might we not also do the same? For the road behind is never to be walked again, but the road ahead remains brimful of possibilities and opportunities. Hope, too, if we so choose. As long as we're willing to face our mistakes and seek to do better. In the old Lyrium mine, you have returned from the Fade, except for Theodora. Theodora, who is on a boat somewhere in the Fade. We'll see what happens with that momentarily. But, Jesper, you have brought Vila back. Vila is currently lying in her bedroll. You're not feeling good at all. You've been tortured. You've been abused. You've been afflicted with the taint, and things are going pretty horrible for Vila right now. The group of you, so yourself, the two Grey Wardens, Chael and Braun, and the Templar, Mireille have been discussing what to do, and Chael has told you that he does have the ingredients necessary to make the potion that has to be drunk during the ritual to turn someone into a Grey Warden. That is probably the only thing that would save Viola at this point. Let me interrupt you to ask if you can hear this incredible bleeding sound that's coming. My mic's not picking up? Awesome. All right, we're in business. Because it's going on right now. There's a full-on circus right now outside my window.
No, we can't hear it.
Nice. He says that he has the ingredients necessary. He had asked for Iona to get him some herbs when you were in Hasmal, and he has sent Braun and Iona to get some darkspawn blood, and only Braun returned saying Iona had left. But he does have enough to turn her into a Grey Warden, but she has to be willing to do that.
I think that she is a fairly intelligent human. She would know that this is the safest way for her to at least prolong her life, even if it's not something that she's like gung-ho about. So I definitely think when it is offered to her in this moment, she'll like reluctantly just kind of scoff a bit and nod. If that's the only option I have.
Well, it's not.
I won't be.
It's not the only option you have, but it's the only one that gives you somewhat of a chance. From the looks of it,
Exactly.
From the looks of it, you have maybe weeks before you turn, but before you accept, you have to know what it means to be a Grey Warden. Your life will be dedicated to fighting these things, and the only way your life ends is killed by one of them eventually. So all you're doing really is postponing the inevitable.
Yes, I've read about it. I'm familiar with it. I know what you all do and blah, 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 blah.
There's something else to consider. You will not find universal acceptance of the use of blood magic among the Grey Wardens now. You will not be necessarily ostracized or hunted for it, but it will not be universally accepted.
Well, can't really go back now. Onwards, upwards, something along those lines, yes?
Very well. Braun will help me. We will prepare the potion and the ritual. You should do what you can to get a bit of rest. It will require a lot of strength to get through.
Great. Since it's between sessions, will I have enough time to actually like rest? Because I'm kind of low in hit points, like health.
Yeah, we'll say that you managed to rest a little bit. We'll sort that out momentarily.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
As this is going on, what is Jesper doing?
Jesper is nearby, but I don't think she's particularly involved in the conversation. She's listening, but there's a lot going on inside of her head right now. I think she's probably in one of the corners where there were cots set up. She's sitting down. She's kind of fidgeting with the wrapping around the stump that's left of her finger. And she's just thinking about Iona and about Theodora and her dream. And it's a lot for her. I think she looks very far away.
As you are caught so very far away, you feel a hand on your shoulder and you hear Chael's voice. All right, kid.
You said that when we got back, you would tell me everything.
I can tell you as much as I know.
What do you know?
I received a letter from a couple who had heard of me through something that happened at a village where someone in her family lived. We had stopped a small band of darkspawn, just raiders, nothing major. But they reached out to me and they said that a long time ago they'd been tasked with keeping a treasure safe, but that there were evil people on the trail of this treasure and that they were getting closer and that they'd been moving, but they felt that it was getting to the point where they might not be able to protect this treasure any longer, and they asked if I would be willing to help. I was curious enough to go and meet them. We traveled north of the river, just around the plains, and we met with them. They were just a normal couple. They had a small child. You won't remember. You were too small, too young. But they said that while they couldn't go into detail, they had sworn their lives and oaths of service to someone powerful in Tevinter, and that they had been tasked with taking a child away from Minrathis and keeping it safe. We helped them relocate, and I promised that once you were a little older, I would come back to find you. And that's what we were on our way to do when we met you, and you had been attacked by the very people who had been searching for you for all these years. We didn't get a chance to speak to your parents, of course. They died in the ambush, and I never got to know more. All that I knew was that they had impressed upon me the importance of protecting you, but I did not know why. But I had promised that I would, so I did. I truly do not know who you are, why they were protecting you, why they'd taken you away from Minrathis. All that I know is that they made me promise to do so, and they impressed upon me enough the need to do so that I did it.
But they weren't my parents.
No.
They weren't.
Well, they were. They raised you. From my understanding, you were theirs from a few months into your life. For all intents and purposes, they were your parents. And they
Maybe
were
to
good
me.
people.
But you don't know that. You don't know.
You You've said
who
so.
they were working for. Maybe they were just pretending. It looks like a lot of people around me pretend to care about me, but then just leave or die.
Hey. You can't put that on people. People will die because this is the way the world is. People will leave because things happen and they get called to something else. It's not a reflection of you. It's not a reflection of who they used to be. Whoever your parents used to be before they took you in doesn't matter, because from the moment they took you in, they were good and they took care of you. And even if they were rampaging monsters before, the fact is that they changed. And that is the very most that we can ask of someone, that they change for the better. Most people don't change, let alone for the better.
And they died protecting me. You got stabbed protecting me. You should have told. Why didn't you tell me that you were hiding me? That you. Why is there a Templar here? Why?
Mireille is here because we were told that you could be dangerous. And so I found someone who had the skills necessary if we needed it.
To what?
Jesper, I don't know who you are or what you are capable of. But I knew enough of you from seeing you grow up and from being so close to you for so long that I know that you're a good person, and I know that if you ever felt that there was any chance that you, by happenstance or by design, might do something terrible that would hurt a lot of people, that you would want us to not let you do that. And that is what I did. I put fail-safes in place because I knew that I would never, ever have the strength to do what was needed, because I care for you far too much. I needed someone who would have the distance necessary to do what was necessary.
But you should have told me. I wasn't ready. I didn't know what to do when...
Would it have changed anything? We would only have had this discussion earlier.
It could have changed many things. It could have prepared me. I could have started figuring out who I was, what I am.
You know who you are. You know who you are. Yes, you do. Yes, you do. You know who you are. It doesn't matter what's in your blood or who your parents were or what people think or expect you might do. You know who you are. And the person you've become is someone who would not let something terrible happen. And now you have the ability to do that. Before you didn't. Before you might have wanted, but you would not have been able to. But now you do. And which is a good thing, because I don't think Mireille could do what she's supposed to do anyways at this point. She's become way too attached to you. You have this way about you. You make people care for you.
What's the Black City?
The Black City? I don't know. Folktales?
What do the stories say about it?
I really don't know much about it. That might be a question for Theodora, if we ever find her, or maybe Viola, but some people say that it's the place that the people who created this world live, or used to live. It doesn't matter. Whatever it is that people seem to think you're going to do or not do, you're not going to do it. You're going to be Jesper Witt. You're going to continue doing what you're doing now. You're going to learn. You're going to grow. You might get married to Braun, I guess, and pop out a couple of little Grey Wardens. Who knows? I wouldn't advise it. That sounds like a recipe for disaster, but I've never really been able to tell you what to do.
He's a good man.
And he cares for you a lot. Very, very much. And I hope that throughout all this, you won't hold him responsible for any decisions that I've made.
I can't. I understand why you didn't tell me, but it doesn't.
The road
it
behind.
Feels like
the road behind doesn't matter. Only the road ahead matters. And you will be who you decide to be as of today. You will be who you decide to be tomorrow when you wake up, and the day after, and the day after. We get little choice, little power in this world. But the one we do have to decide who we are when we get up in the morning.
Well, I'm exactly who you raised me to be, so take that as you will.
Just a little bit more rambunctious than I would have wanted you to be, really, but...
Yes, well, I got that from you, too.
Can I see your wound?
Yeah, it's a finger. Well, it's not a finger, and that's the problem.
Good.
I think Iona still has my finger.
He takes your hand very gently and he unwraps your finger. When he does, you can see that where the blade has cut, the skin is starting to blacken and there are red glowing veins that are starting to pulse down along the finger. What happened? Who did this? What was used to do this?
I don't know. I was asleep and then I woke up and it was cut off. I didn't see who did it or why. I don't know. I remember waking up and everyone was fighting that thing. Theodora was there. Iona came to me. I don't know what's wrong. What is this?
I don't know what was used to do this, but whatever it is, it left a taint behind.
Fuck.
All right, come with me. Come on. And he takes you by the hand and he walks out of there. Meanwhile, in the other room, Viola. You are sitting there trying to come to terms with things. Is there anything else you want to do or try before, as you're resting?
She would definitely try and attune to her own magic. But I mean, I know part of me was like, I want to see if I can boil it out of my blood, but realistically, I feel like she would know better. Just as a person who, a mage. So I think she would honestly just try and rest as much as possible and potentially heal up as much as she can, kind of buff a little bit, because even though she knows a little bit about the ritual, they can't guarantee what's gonna happen. So she's gonna prepare anything she thinks might be useful in that moment, which is probably like way off base, like, you know, like put a leaf in your pocket, or you know, just like weird things. And I think while she's kind of like readying herself, she will take off her gear from them going around during the day and pull out the cloth out of her pocket, which has a ring in it. Vilo is kind of out for most of the interaction with the ring in general, but when she takes it out and unwraps it, she will think she knows what it is, and the story of the ferryman and the legend behind all of that will come to mind. But she's not a jeweler, so she's like, I don't know if this is real or if it's fake or really where it came from. And she'll wrap it back up and like tuck it back in her pocket and just kind of hold on to it.
And as you're doing all of this,
need.
You'll hear someone approach, and the voice of Mireille, the Orlesian Knight or Templar, will reach your ears as she says, "Do you have any questions about what is about to happen?"
Is it going to hurt, I guess? How long does it take? Do I need a nap? Should I protein?
My understanding is that it is quite painful. I am more concerned about the fact that you have already been possessed once. My understanding of the ritual is that it will somehow create a connection of some sort between you and the Darkspawn. You will be able to sense them, you will be able to feel their presence, you will become immune to the taint, which is the primary reason why we are doing this, but
right.
This connection to the Darkspawn might be dangerous if you are already susceptible.
There's a chance, but what are my other options other than a quicker death, I guess?
Well, that is an option. I do promise that if anything goes wrong during the ritual and it looks like you might be getting possessed again, I will make sure that you die swiftly.
Thanks, I guess. Sure. Who knows? Maybe it'll be easier. You know, already halfway there.
Correct me if I'm wrong. I do not know much about Tevinter society, but you strike me as perhaps someone who had a good upbringing with a good family, perhaps the money and status.
You could say that.
Is it the fear of losing all of that in your position to Tevinter society that is more problematic for you, or is there something else?
Not necessarily. In a list of things that I thought I was going to do in my life, becoming a Templar was very low on that.
Becoming a Grey Warden.
There you go. Sorry, all
scattered. Have you ever lost anything major or important in your life?
That seems like a silly question. Everybody loses something.
Think of the thing you have lost that hurt you the most. Now multiply that tenfold. That is what's about to happen to you. Becoming a Grey Warden is a lifelong commitment, and a death sentence, I would not do it. You're about to lose everything you were, everything you thought you were, everything you thought you would be. You're about to lose everything you were going to be. You are about to lose everything. And as someone who has lost everything they were and everything they thought they were going to be, I want to tell you that while it is very difficult, you will survive it. You will be better, or at least you will eventually leave some of the pain of what's been lost behind. It will get better.
Well, you're really great at pep talks. I'll be alive, and currently that's the goal. Everything after that, I'll figure it out from there.
Well, at least that's not a pessimistic outlook.
Exactly.
As you say that, you notice Chael and Jesper coming back. Chael's got that worry face on. Braun looks up when he sees them come back and is like, oh, what the fuck now? And Chael goes, looks like we're going to be making 2 Grey Wardens today.
Never gonna, never were gonna get rid of me, right?
Braun's like, well, I don't understand why, what's going on. And you show him the finger, and right away he knows. How the hell did that happen?
I don't know. I don't know.
Was it your ring? Did the ring do this?
No, I've had that ring my whole life. It never did anything at all before.
That was the finger the ring was on, right?
Yes, it was, but it doesn't make any sense.
Did your finger swell, or
no?
What happened?
When we were fighting when we were fighting, and I was going after Chael, and the Darkspawn stopped, I felt something, and I heard a voice, and my ring started getting really warm, and it fell off the chain, and I just grabbed it and put it on as we were leaving. And then he was fine. And then what?
You've never worn this ring before? Just always around your neck until then?
I've had it since I was a kid. It didn't fit me before. It was, too big, so I just always wore it on the chain, and then I never
Chael says,
put it on.
Sorry, Mirai said, and it reacted to the Darkspawn?
Not the Darkspawn, someone else?
Do you still have the ring?
No, I couldn't find it after my finger fell off. That's why Iona was looking for my finger and the ring, and we couldn't find it. I don't know where it could have gone. It must be here somewhere, but we can't find it.
And it's important to find this ring?
It's important to me. It's the only thing I have left of home. It means a lot to me.
Viola will reach her hand in her pocket and she'll like let it rest there and see. Like, she didn't notice anything weird about the ring when she had opened it earlier.
No.
Kind of now she's going to let her hand rest there, see if it feels any different in her pocket. No different. Okay. And she'll pull it out. It might be this ring here. I can't say I know where it's from. It was just in my pocket, you see. And she'll like unwrap it and then like show it kind of to you.
That's my ring. How did you...
Again,
You've been passed out.
Listen, if I could answer that question, I would tell you willingly. But it was just in my pocket.
Well, can I have it back?
Yes, but you know what this ring is supposed to do? Are you sure it's real? Authentic?
I don't know what you're talking about.
You don't know anything.
It's just something I've had since I was a kid.
Do you know anything about this ring, Viola?
I would know that it is the ring of the ferryman. And I would know the general legend of the that before I would know about like Daenerys and his dreams about the small fairy. But
so
only kind of general.
What it comes down to is that it was the symbol of the first Archon of the Tevinter Empire, and since then, every Archon of the Tevinter Empire has worn such a ring, and whenever an Archon dies or is replaced, a ring is destroyed. There are rumors of certain rings going missing sometimes, but...
Would I know if there was something like transcribed on the inside of the ring by chance?
You can look at it, and there's nothing. I want to say thank you so much, Catchy Cantrips, for coming in with the raid, coming in hot here, and Thetis. Hello, Mazrael. It's very, very kind of you. We appreciate you coming in to visit us here in our little trauma factory. Right, this one happens to be in the deep roads, but we got little trauma factories everywhere. You can take a look at it, and when you do, you don't see anything inscribed in it anywhere.
Okay.
So you tell them all this about the Archon, and so the Archon is the ruler of Tevinter, by the way, in case people don't know.
So she'll relay that information.
Is it possible that it's a fake?
Well, since it I don't know, seemed to react a little bit, it feels a little bit more authentic to me in that regard.
Right, but that would mean what exactly?
Well, it should have been destroyed, and you don't... I'm sorry, where did this come from again?
I've just always had it since I was a child.
Mm-hmm.
I
okay.
Don't know. The people who raised me gave it to me.
The ring's neither here nor now, nor there at this point. There are the things we need to do. And Chael turns to you and he says, I don't want to force you to accept the Grey Warden ritual. Probably the only thing that can save your life at this point, but if you decided that you would rather not do that, I would accept that. I've sure as hell spent most of my life telling you you're not becoming a Grey Warden, so I'm not going to change my tune now.
Chael. In the most convoluted way possible. It is what I've always wanted.
All right. Well, we have enough for 2 of you. So we'll prepare that. And Chill's voice seems to be getting further and further away. And as you're holding the ring, you start feeling it get warm. And Chill's voice gets further and further and further away from you. And suddenly you find yourself at the bottom of a tower with a bell lying on its side, having fallen down from the bell tower. Outside, Viola, you watch with the others as Jesper looks at you, blinks, and then collapses to the ground.
Amazing. Can we we're gonna pluck the ring from her in the cloth.
Well, we'll see what happens. But meanwhile, on a boat, I like going to Gina as soon as Gina lifts that ginormous mug up.
Oh wait, I haven't shown everybody on stream my other mug.
Amazing.
Gina out there with her clawfoot tub, pretending it's a mug.
Okay.
As you travel along the river on this boat with the ferryman on the boat behind you, what are you doing? What are you thinking? What's going on with Theodora at this particular point?
I think she's coming down from the anxiety and all of from having escaped this Blood Mage, and she's still processing Viola doing the whole blood magic thing and the whole thing with the ring and cutting it. A lot has happened in a very 20 minutes, something like that. So I think at this moment she's oddly trying to get her bearings despite being in a strange boat. I think she's also trying to get a sense of how dangerous are the vibes here? Is she in trouble?
Well, right now there's no real vibes of danger. You are certainly aware that you're in the Fade somewhere. So anything can happen. But right now you're just taking a leisurely little, ride down this river. The banks are covered in fog, and it's very difficult to see anything beyond them. Once in a while you see a bit of a shape move or hear some strange sound coming from them, but the boat goes on.
Is there anywhere we're going?
Yes.
Would you mind my asking where we're going?
We're going home.
Do you get to decide where that is, or do I?
And as you're saying that, you see looming ahead of you this giant gate now that is barring the waterway. There are these little this grill that as they come down, the water kind of flows through it. But it goes up and disappears way further than you can see into the fog and the mist up there. It's this old rusted iron gate of what used to be probably black metal, and it looks old and ancient and kind of strange and alien in some ways. And the boat sort of slowly comes to a stop. The river's still going, but the boat is sort of staying in place a few yards away from the gate. And the ferryman looks down at you and says, "Have you the ring?"
I don't, unfortunately. I left it. I didn't know if I was trying to get to it, but I don't have it. It's in the...
Then you cannot go in.
I don't know if I want to go in, is the thing. I was trying to get back.
Back?
Back to like deep roads.
Why is the presence of the ring on you? Why do I feel it bound to you?
I don't know. I'm going to checks her pockets for all of the. If there's anything, any rings in there.
Very well. And the boat capsizes. You flip over, splash down in the water. You are dragged down into it. You feel this current, this swirl of powerful current just sort of spinning around you, and you feel yourself go down deeper and deeper and deeper into the murky depths of this water. Water starts to enter your mouth, your nose, fills up your lungs. You feel like you're about to burst. You can't breathe anymore. You wake up. You're alone somewhere. It's dark. You're in some kind of cave, perhaps. There's a slight and then you see a little bit of flames spring up, and you can see that nearby there's someone who's lighting a fire. You sit up. You're drenched from head to toe in this tiny, tiny little dark cave. The fire starts to grow a little bit, warming you and bringing a little bit of light around.
I think she will reflexively cough. Am I still in the fade? Does this still feel like the fade, or is this back in the waking?
Well, it's hard to tell, but you get the feeling you're back in the mine.
Okay. Do I recognize whoever this is?
As a matter of fact, you do.
Oh god, is it this guy?
You look like you were in trouble there.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Are you alright?
I don't think so. It's a measure of alright.
What happened?
Could I do a quick joke? This is not the first time that I wake up in strange locations and things have been lying to me. Like, is there, like, can I ascertain if this is really him or not?
Sure. Go ahead and give me a magic roll, I guess. Let me just take a look here at somewhere in this world. I have your character sheet. Yeah, so go ahead and give me a magic roll, and you can use your spirit specialization.
Okay. I still have a lot of dragon marks, so I'm gonna use one. Because why not?
You're gonna use a dragon mark?
Yeah. Let me clear all these other dice.
Good call.
That is 6, 10, 15, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20.
All right, well, with a 20, it's more than good enough. You definitely feel like you're on solid ground, and you're probably not in the fade anymore.
Where are we?
Not far from where your friends are. We're also not far from where the brood mother is, so probably best to remain as inconspicuous as possible. I've made some tea, and he gives you the tiniest mug ever.
I'm imagining an espresso cup of tea. How is it? Is it bad?
No, it's quite good actually, and it feels
okay.
very good as it goes down, it warms you up, and it kind of perks you up a little bit. How are you doing, sister?
Terribly. Awful. Soaking wet.
Do you still have the knife?
I do.
Ah. You finally did something right. It's very encouraging, don't you find?
I don't know if success is terrible. I have learned quite quickly.
Well, depends what you're successful at.
Do you want your knife back?
Oh, no. You're gonna need it.
Ugh. What is it we're doing here? You gonna tell me anything?
Well, I'll tell you what. I've given this some thought, and I think it's time for me to come clean with you. How about that? A little bit of honest truth for once. Would you like that? This is the part where you answer me, Theodora.
We've established that neither of us are good at conversation. I'm not
Yes,
feeling very
exactly.
talkative.
Maybe I should just have written you a letter. Theodora, you've heard of the Dissonant verses.
Of course.
The Dissonant verses, of course, are canticles struck from the chant due to their heretical nature. There is, as we speak, a new dissonant verse being created. It is being spun and woven before our very eyes. The apostate, Jesper. Hers is a song that is but a soft chorus now, but will soon grow into a symphony unless it is, well, cut short. It's unclear yet how this particular new addition to the chant will play out, but indications are troubling. There's a grave risk that it will be for the ill of all. A decision has been made, Theodora. At the highest level, we cannot risk it. If her part of the chant evolves into dissonance, it could spell disaster. It is a risk the Chantry is unwilling to take. Do you have a favorite section of the chant, Sister Theodora?
See, Theodora would have this answer. Gina does not.
That's fine. You recite a piece that you. That is nice. That is very nice. However, that was a rhetorical question.
It's gonna be like, is this relevant?
I have one piece that speaks to my soul, Andraste 7:19. Those who oppose thee shall know the wrath of heaven. Field and forest shall burn, the sea shall rise and devour them, the wind shall tear their nations from the face of the earth, lightning shall rain down from the sky, they shall cry out to their false gods and find silence. Stirring, is it not?
Dramatic.
Ah, yes. Well, a little bit of drama is good for the soul. My dear Theodora, we are an organization dedicated to the protection of the Chantry and all good peoples of Thedas, over whom Andraste has cast her light. We are in need of someone in Tevinter. Do this, and you will finally have what you crave. Responsibilities, power, recognition, respect. You will serve a higher purpose, that of Andraste herself. Kill the girl. Use the dagger. Strike her. The red lyrium will do the rest. And then you may travel back to Tevinter and serve the crows.
Do I sense that this is all like genuine honesty? This has been a lot of info dumping, and she's been trying to figure out if this is like another layer of trying to throw me off here, or is this like the actual truth for once?
I don't know. I mean, it's
this guy.
It's an interesting opportunity. I mean,
it's certainly interesting.
Like it would be advancement of some sort. Of course, you have to go back and spy on Tevinter, but
The thing Theodore is trying to weigh is she knows things about Navarra, she knows things about Tevinter. She doesn't know a lot of things about
Antiva.
She doesn't know anything about she knows very little about Antiva.
Well, you wouldn't know enough to know that the crows started as the Antivan crows started as something different. They've kind of grown into the intelligence arm of the chantry, but perhaps more the Orlesian chantry, but still.
Point is, she can't exactly back out here. That's how you get stabbed with things. Okay. It's not like I don't think I can outrun you.
Well, I feel like we're making progress here, Theodora, and I feel like we're becoming friends, and so I will allow myself a friend's benefit here to be frank with you. If we look back at your path so far, it's littered with a lot of things, but not much of it is success. Can we agree? Can we agree to that? Between friends here, Theodora.
It's not very friendly of you to point it out.
A friend should always be honest.
Hmm.
What lies behind you on your path does not matter. What matters is what you do now. What you choose to do now will set the tone for what people will remember. Wow them in the end, and they will forget that your play was shit all along.
Quite optimistic, sir.
Oh, I have all sorts of faith in you. You are perfect for this job. Innocuous, easily to overlook, not too threatening. You are perfect. They will let you get close. And when you are, do what needs to be done. I will ensure that you are able to make your escape.
Fine, I guess.
Very wise choice, Sister Theodora. Look. Your first promotion.
Wow.
Let me get you another cup of tea. And then we'll get you back to your friends. You're doing Andraste's work, Theodora. Never forget that.
Okay.
Good.
Of course.
Who knows? Perhaps someday you might be the fourth shadow.
I don't have any context for what that means.
You will in due time. Now, drink up.
Sort of wring my shawl out very sulkily. She looks extremely drowned rat, by the way. She was already a mousy girl, and now it's promoted to drowned rat.
You look at that blade, that red lyrium infused blade, and you're not quite sure how it works, that it's not having a negative impact on you, but it looks dangerous just looking at it. Meanwhile, out on the Silent Plains, Iona, you've been resting among the elves, the strange clan, the one who called himself Solus has come and gone, occasionally coming to speak with you, other times being asked away on other business. But as darkness has fallen once more, and you're sitting by the fire, gone now almost a full day from those who used to be your friends, what is going through your mind? What is happening with Iona?
I think that Iona is feeling guilt. And I think that she is pondering this guilt over Jesper's severed finger. Probably just kind of like twiddling with it in her hands. But it's a guilt at leaving Jesper behind. It's not a guilt at leaving.
I assume that's not yours.
Could have been.
Solus sits down cross-legged, reaches for a kettle of herbal tea that is...
I thought he was going to reach for the finger.
Dude. No, he just gives the finger kind of a side eye. Pondering much then? Is there... Can't believe I'm asking this, but is there special significance to the finger you were holding?
It, belonged to my friend.
Is that all that is left of her, of them?
Hopefully not. I left them in the deep roads to come here.
Yeah. Regrets?
Regrets for leaving without saying anything more than anything else. Not a regret in coming here.
Do you feel regret because of what you fear she, they, because you haven't said, have you said that? The regrets because of what you fear they might be thinking about you now? Or regrets because of what you were thinking about yourself for doing this?
Perhaps a bit of both. I mean, I feel bad. I don't want her to think I just up and abandoned her, even though, I kind of did up and abandon her.
Yes.
But
why did you do it?
Because they're human and they're not my people. Solwyn, he was mighty convincing in getting me to come here. I wasn't going to at first. I was going to die in the deep roads with them if that's what it took. But they're not my people, are they? They're not our people.
And there are so much more important things to accomplish than saving a few humans in a old lyrium mine, right?
Yeah. And I thought back to, I had a partner before. He was a mage. Back in the clan, he was the first to the keeper. And he loved nothing more than studying ancient elven artifacts and learning the lore and the history. He used to hang on to every word that the keeper used to say, that the Harans used to talk about when they told the legends of old. And he made me promise to look after that human mage. But I think if he were to learn what I did, I think that he would understand me leaving. That there is something bigger going on. Something I want to be a part of.
So you lost someone.
Haven't we all?
Did you lose them through actions of your own or actions of theirs?
His own.
It is difficult sometimes to move on when regret hangs about our neck. We make decisions that we think perhaps are the right one with whatever information we have at the time, or maybe we let our passions guide us a little too much. And we only realize down the line that the actions we took were wrong. And then they hang about us. Like a necklace of dead dreams just tightening around our throat. The past is the past. Things that did not survive were not meant to. And we can't fault ourselves. It is our duty to rebuild, to love again, to move forward. And that does require some sacrifice, yeah. And one of the things that one should always sacrifice in times like these is guilt and regret.
I appreciate your wisdom.
It is hard earned. I myself have much to regret. Paths that I've walked that led to naught but sorrow and darker things.
It's hard battling with that guilt and the feeling of being, I don't know, less honorable than I had hoped I'd be in those situations. But she's kind of going to look out on the silent plains, standing in the ashes of our people. What good is honor?
Yes, but ashes are ashes, and you cannot build bricks out of ashes. It is good to know the ashes are there and to give them due respect, but once the building starts anew, things of the past have to be left behind. If we build on the same foundation that we once built, the foundations that held not our house, then the house will crumble once more.
And what do you intend to build, Solus? You've gathered all of these people here and taught them the way of the river.
There was a dream once. A dream that those who dreamt it seemed the perfect dream, seemed a good dream, seemed the way to go. Mistakes were made, and in hindsight they are easy to pinpoint, but at the time those who dared to dream that dream could not see it, because we cannot see into the future. If we do, it is quite murky. And so I do not begrudge them the mistakes they made. But it is our duty, those of us like you and me, who feel a greater calling. And you felt it when Solon spoke to you, when you pondered what your companion, your partner, would have done had they learned that you had left the others behind to pursue this dream. When you pondered that and realized that they would have been in agreement with you, you felt it. There's something inside some of us that calls us to a greater destiny. And the path that we took to get here matters not. All that matters is the path that we take moving forward. And the river is special in that the river will always make its way. The river will always find a way through. It will divert momentarily, it will go around, it will go under or over or through. But the river will always find its way. And that is what we must be like. The path may be long, it may be treacherous, it may be arduous, it may be beset by all matters of obstacles and setbacks, but once the river begins moving, it doesn't stop. And the river never doubles back on itself. It keeps moving forward.
I think Iona's going to kind of let out like a little bit of a laugh as she realizes he's like almost talking in circles around her question. And then she's going to look at him. Well, I guess the better question is, what are you going to destroy?
Nothing that doesn't deserve it.
Who gets to decide that?
Well, that's the dangerous part. Who does get to decide that? Who does get to decide what? And as he's saying that, you start hearing a clanging noise. And it starts to echo throughout the camp, and it starts to be picked up, and you realize there are alarm bells that are ringing throughout the camp. And then you hear someone scream, "Darkspawn!" And meanwhile, in the caves below, Viola and Jesper, you have been brought together in a room with Braun and Chael. Mireille is just outside the door. Chael has prepared in a cup some foul-smelling, foul-looking concoction.
Amazing.
You remember something about Braun having to go out to get Darkspawn blood, but it doesn't bear thinking about.
Am I back from where I was?
Oh yeah, that's sorry.
I'm just wondering, am I back?
Sorry. Yeah, no, I'm old.
I just thought they hadn't noticed yet.
No.
Collapsed in the back. They have no clue. They do
No, I'm
not.
sorry. I just I
Failed
lost
their
track.
perception check.
I lost track as we were going along.
They're so fun.
All right. So, getting back to that then. You are at the bottom of this tower with the bell at the bottom.
Yeah.
As you look upon the bell, you hear in the distance ringings of bells. But it's hard to make out exactly what it is or what's happening. Before you, again, is that spiral staircase that goes up. What do you do?
I'm going to walk up the staircase.
As you start walking up the staircase, you notice something that was there the first time you had this vision, and not the second time. There is this green dragon that is etched into the walls of the tower, and for a moment you're reminded of Iona.
Mm-hmm.
How do you feel when you think of Iona?
Confused. Upset. Longing because I miss my friend. I still don't believe that she would just abandon me.
You continue climbing. You get to the top. You know what's awaiting you upstairs.
Mm-hmm.
And you climb up and you see the mirror. There is a tarp over it, like a cloth that has been placed over it. The room is otherwise very similar. You remember the first time you were here, you could hear Iona's voice calling out to you, but now you just hear those distant clanging bells. The mirror is there a few feet away from you, behind that cloth.
I suck in a breath, steadying myself, and I reach out and I pull the tarp off of the mirror.
You pull the tarp off the mirror. In the mirror, you see fire. You see things, a village, a town, a whole countryside, a whole world burning. You see rivers of blood pouring forth over the fire, not extinguishing it, but spreading it even further afield. And then all of this disappears. You're staring in a cracked mirror. In the mirror, you see yourself reflected as you are. The crack that bisects the mirror almost cleanly cuts your face in half, but it's still just your face. You take this in, waiting for it to change, waiting to see his face perhaps, waiting to see the Black City, waiting to see your face enraged, blood pouring forth, waiting to see your slack features with the Tranquil's mark on your forehead, but you see none of that. You see yourself. Cracked, damaged, wounded. A sadness in your eyes that wasn't there before. A sense of melancholy, perhaps, that was not as acute before. But it is you. Just you.
And I know who I am. And I don't need a mirror to tell me or a thing to tell me or anyone else. I know who I am. And I know that there's a life for me where I can do good and I can be good. And I don't have to hurt anyone in the process. And I'm going to throw the tarp back over the mirror. And I'm going to start walking down the stairs again.
And as you do, you feel this sense of home getting further and further and further away from you. You feel the place of your birth, the place where you come from, the place of your origin get further and further away from you as you walk down the steps. But then, when you're halfway down, there's another sense of home, another sense of belonging that emanates from a different direction. As you go down the stairs, ever going down in that spiral, you feel that get stronger and stronger. You open your eyes. You see Brown's face, worry etched so deeply on his face. Are you back?
Hi. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, I'm back. I'm sorry.
you have to stop doing that.
Oh, but you always look so handsome when you're worried about me.
Yeah, I'm handsome because I'm a young man, but even though I'm a young man, I'm about to have my heart burst even more quickly than Shales will. You keep disappearing like that.
It won't happen again. I promise.
As you say that, you see a moment of hesitation and a moment of decision in his eyes. He pulls you close and brings his lips to yours and kisses you in the softest, most hesitant, chaste way you could ever imagine being kissed.
I think she's gonna she accepts that, but she doesn't let him pull. Like, she's gonna reach up, grab the back of his neck, and pull him. Like, kiss me properly, you idiot.
And you feel this swell of passion as the kiss becomes even more urgent, even more pressing. And as you lose yourself in it, and for the first time in a long, long time, feel that warmth of human contact, that feeling of having found a place that is home or your person. You hear a very discreet Are we done with the theatrics? This jail?
Yep. Sorry. We're fine. I'm fine. We're good. Let me up.
Braun helps you up, and he's like red. I've never done that before.
Oh, color me surprised. It's all right.
Yeah, let's not make a big thing out of it, though.
Hey, you're my first one too, you know.
Really?
When do you think I would have had the time?
I don't know. You slip off sometimes.
Okay. Sure.
I don't know what you... And he gives you
Mhm.
just this kind of shy little smile, and he's like, well, for two people that had no clue what they were doing, it wasn't bad.
Yeah, well, I look forward to a lot more firsts with you, Bran.
All right. We got stuff to do. Leave the kissing for another time as he pulls the two of you apart. And you find yourselves facing each other in the room.
Sorry.
A cup
That's just Viola's reaction.
of foul smelling,
Yes, it is.
looking liquid that Chael is holding. And as he brings it between the two of you, he says, The ritual will change you. The ritual will make you different. It is unsettling to be so connected to the Darkspawn, to feel them, to know where they are, to almost know what they think. Both of you have unfortunately been tainted by them, and this will save you from that, but at the same time it condemns you to a life of fighting them. But this is not punishment. This is a duty. We don't know much about the Darkspawn. We don't know much about where they come from or why they're here, but none of that matters. Where they came from does not matter. People suffer because of them horribly. And now, not only do you have the abilities and the skills necessary to face them, but now you take on a solemn duty to do so. When you bring this cup to your lips and drink, it's gonna suck. It's gonna be the worst thing you've ever done in your life.
Yeah, all right.
You're really selling it.
But it's saving your lives. And it's giving you a duty. There's usually a lot of mumbo jumbo and this, that, and the other, but we can cut to the chase since we don't really have an audience or a lot of time. Who wishes to go first?
I've been dealing with this a little longer. I'll go, I suppose. And she'll, reach for the goblet.
You take it, you bring it to your lips, you drink from it. It's so disgusting. It's viscous, it's pungent. The smell alone just makes you want to retch it out. There's a lot of spices and herbs put in it to try to attenuate the but it's still very it's just this thing that refuses to go down your throat and you have to force yourself. It's just vile. There's this feeling of something unclean about it, but you get it down. It is like Buckley's Complete. You pass the cup to Jesper. Other than the disgusting taste, nothing's really happening. Jesper, you drink it. As you go to drink it, Chael stops you for a moment and goes, I know you've wanted this for a long time, and I know I've always stood in the way of that. I hope you know and understand why I did that, but I'm glad that you get to make this choice today, and that you get to have what you want. Welcome to the Grey Wardens. And he lets you drink. It is vile. It is disgusting. 1,000 of bronze kisses would not make this any better.
Probably not.
And you stand there looking at each other, holding on to the cup. You hear footsteps. You look over to the right, or to the left in the case of Violet. You see Sister Theodora approaching.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
Oh, would you like a drink? I'm sure there's plenty.
You missed a lot.
What?
Are you okay?
Oh,
And as they say that, they both double over, screaming in pain, clutching their stomachs, hitting the ground. Chael and Braun just stand there, looking down at them, not reacting. And then Braun looks over at Chael and goes, not as bad as I thought they'd take it. And Chael goes, well, early hours still. We'll see how they make it through the next few hours.
I try to draw, I'm not gonna say lunge, but I am going to run forward. There's clearly something wrong with them and nobody's explaining anything to me. My hands are empty. I am clarifying that.
Okay.
Maybe except maybe
clarification.
You rush forward, trip, fall, stab them with your knife, And as you do that,
Absolutely.
we're going to go on break as
Oh
you
my
stab
God.
them several times over with your knife.
They just ran into it.
Yeah,
It's fine.
Yeah.
totally.
Walk
We're going to
to
go on
my
break.
knife.
Thanks, everyone, for hanging out.
Yeah.
Sorry for my brain fart there earlier. I was completely
Oh, no.
just... I had moved on in my head. We were somewhere else.
So true.
So valid.
It was
We
always
all
like,
moved
and you've
on.
won the fight. And thank you so much for playing this wonderful game with us. We'll be back in just a few minutes. Thank you so much to my amazing players. Thank you to people in the chat. We appreciate you. You're all so awesome and so wonderful. We'll be back very shortly. Please don't go anywhere. We're going to take a tight 10. I just showed the players the map for the final act, and they're not happy. I don't know.
I'm thrilled.
I don't know why that would be. Nothing wrong. Everything's fine. Everything's gonna be. Imagine Catbug with his 2 oven mitts going, everything is gonna be okay.
Sure.
Catbug's
Sure,
in the chat
it
right
is.
now. Are you in the chat, Catbug? If Catbug's in the chat. Oh, look. Tip of your finger. It's all come down to this. 4 adventurers. 39 fingers between them. My friends. The pain eventually subsides. There's nothing you can really do for them, Theodora. They are racked with pain, with cramps. They are doubled over. They vomit. They have chills. They have basically the same symptoms that you would see in someone who has a very bad infection. But then, soon enough, after a few hours, the pain stops. They come to. You have miraculously healed up during this time, so if you had lost anything, then it's been enough for a break. It's been most of a day that has gone by.
Has anybody explained anything the entire time to me? Or are
Yeah,
we just
while they are
Just for 2
down,
hours, just staring.
not giving me answers?
Chael will explain to you that both of them were afflicted with the taint. They don't know where Viola got it because she's had it for a few weeks. But Jesper got it from whatever cut her finger off. And so when that happens, I'm going to do a roll to see if they notice any sort of reaction from you. I'm very happy to let you do some kind of cunning roll if you want.
I'm gonna try and cunning roll against them.
You could do. I'll even give you one better. I'll give you self-discipline of willpower if you want, or cunning, your choice.
Self-discipline's very slightly higher.
Yeah.
I'm going to use a dragon mark for that because I still got a bunch.
Okay.
Use them if you got 'em. Ah, it's so bad.
Perfect.
10. How many do I got left?
You have 5.
Okay, that
So if you used one,
it's 4. 15.
15. You managed to keep pretty good control of yourself. Chael and Braun continue to explain what's happening, that because they were both suffering from the taint, the one sure way they knew of preventing them from turning into Darkspawn was to take the oath of the Grey Warden and go through the ritual of creation. And both of them agreed to do that. They were lucky that Chael had on hand the necessary ingredients to create what they drank, which, just by the smell of the bottom of the cup, is disgusting. And now it's just waiting for them to write it out. And it takes a few hours, but that once they get over this, that they'll be immune to the taint and will be conscripted into the Grey Wardens. You don't have the taint, do you? Because we're all out of the stuff.
I don't think so.
Where have you been?
I don't know. I got like dropped out of the Fade. If you can see it, I was like in a river, so I'm wet. It's still a little damp. And then, I woke up somewhere else. Been wandering around this whole time.
Does anything follow you from the Fade?
I don't know. Did anything? She's gotta actually check because she doesn't.
Probably not a bad idea.
All right, so let's see. Gonna guess it's just a quick perception check. Bad. It's 9 plus 11.
You don't see anything untoward.
I don't know.
All right. You wait a few hours, and as time passes and the two of them begin to feel better, you see Chael and Braun putting their heads together and talking a little bit and kind of seeming to agree about something. Braun casts an eye your way and smiles, then goes back to talking with Chael.
What is the general mood of either of them?
Make me a perception
In one
check.
word.
Make me a
No,
perception.
I'm going to use my spirit magic. So I can sense the mood of intelligent being within 6 yards. I get one word.
One word, I would say suspicious.
Ugh. These bitches. Sorry.
Viola and Jasper, you are starting to feel better. This has been the worst case of flu you've ever had. Braun comes over and brings you both something to drink. Just
Thank
wash
you.
the taste out of your mouth.
I don't think anything could ever get the taste out of my mouth.
Well, no kissing me until you do. I don't need to taste that again. I did it once. That's more than enough.
Rude.
That didn't help at all. But thank you. Can we more of whatever that was?
Yeah, he gives you more.
I guess. The drink.
The best thing for
Thanks.
it is really the best thing for it is dwarven spirits.
Well, when we get out of here, we can drink a lot.
Question for you
In-
then. If you
Oh, God.
concentrate and focus a little bit, can you feel the dark spawn around us?
That was going to be my next question. Was how are we feeling? Oh.
I concentrate and focus.
You roll your detect dark spawn. Theodora starts to... No, okay.
Oh, man.
You concentrate, focus, try to, I don't know, extend your senses. You don't feel anything. You feel anything?
Is this a trick question? Am I...
Are you feeling the dark spawn?
No.
No, you're not. Do you know why? Because they're gone. We can't feel them either. It happened maybe about an hour ago. We started noticing that their presence was lessening. And now it seems to have mostly gone away.
Mostly? Did they go somewhere, or did they just disappear?
Maybe the elf that was here before, the one that took off with Iona, mentioned that they raid the surface. It would be about nighttime now at the surface, so they might be off raiding for people to feed to the broodmother.
Right. This would be the best chance then that we have.
This would be a good time to leave.
Yeah.
Unless any of you have any unfinished business down here.
No, I think I've had my fair share of business in general. I'm good.
Oh, and look who we found. And he points to Theodora.
Oh.
Hi.
Hi.
Are you there alive? I vaguely remember. It's been a couple of hours. Are you real? Why are you here?
What do you mean, why am I here? Where else would I go?
Don't listen to her. She's...
Well, no, you didn't... No. She didn't follow us back out.
I tried.
And we had to go back in, and we couldn't find you.
You didn't come back in.
We did.
Yes, we did.
We tried to... We went back in. We tried to get you out, and when we went back, we were gone. There were things that were coming, so we had to leave.
Yes,
but we tried. Are you okay? What happened?
Wet. I fell into a river.
Are you still wet? It's been hours.
I was
still wet.
Still wet. Listen, wet wool is not great.
No. But you're okay.
Fine. Can we move before this? I don't want to be here when the Darkspawn come back.
Yeah.
By all means. Let's go, then.
You start packing up your stuff. Theodora, how does it feel knowing they went back for you into the Fade?
Kind of nice. They didn't come back at all. Maybe it's a little nice. Maybe. It's actually an maybe.
Just like stopping around like a little kid. Yeah. Maybe. As they're packing, Viola will try and press Theodora and be like, so what happened? You were in the Fade by yourself, and now you're here. Did you just fall through a river the entire time? Or?
I did what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to, I mean, I don't
Jump
have to explain it to you. No. Would you let me finish? Sure. I know you like listening to your own voice. Can you let me finish? I did what you're supposed to do. I assume I don't have to explain it to you. I should concentrate to get back, and I ended up in a river. There was a boat, and it dumped me out. I ended up somewhere else in the cavern, and now I'm here. Doesn't matter.
When you say boat, do you mean like a rowboat or like a ferry by chance?
Is this relevant? Are you trying to fish for information to use or something? I don't know what all of you do.
No. I don't know. I'm just listening. And this boat, which is floating, or obviously they're packing and shifting out of the caves and stuff. They're just standing there this whole time.
I mean, sure, it was a ferry.
All right. And continue.
It's not.
I'll listen.
It's not really much else to say. was a ferry, and they dumped me out. That's how I ended up all wet. And then I woke up.
So it just floated around a little bit and then threw you off.
Sure.
That's not how fairies typically work. I'm sorry. I know I'm a Grey Warden now, and she gestures to like the others in the party and brings them like towards the conversation. Am I wrong? Is that not how fairies work? They usually have a destination.
I don't know where it was going. It's not what I was rowing. Anyway, is this important?
Could be. Jesper, what do you think about
What?
fairies? Not like the creature, like the fae, but you know.
I think that I'm just glad you're back, Theodora, and
Thanks.
that you're
Can we go?
okay. And we can talk more about this if we have to
We
once
stand-
we're out of the caves, Viola?
I figured they were walking and talking as this was happening.
Oh, I thought
Yeah,
we
but
were
we're
still.
still-
I thought we were still. I thought we were still at camp.
No. But it was like, I'm gonna stand right here. No. I like packing and tasking while they're
All right.
yeah.
You
They're
pack and
leaving.
task. As you're doing this, Braun will come to you, Jesper, put a hand on your shoulder and just reach up and with his thumb just gently caress the side of your cheek and say, "You all right?"
I thought I would feel more different, I guess. Not that I'm saying that this is somehow a letdown of all my hopes and dreams of what it would have felt like to become a Grey Warden, but I don't know, I feel just as much like myself as I ever have.
So that you went from having almost no family to having one gigantic, very dysfunctional, but fairly populous family.
Well, I think I would like to think that I was already as much part of the family as I am now.
That you were. But now, you get to die horribly for it.
Well, I was probably going to die horribly anyway. At least now it'll be for something.
Well, it's a good way to think about it, but at the end of the day, will you be doing anything different that you would have done? You're still going to be...
I'm still going to be by your
Nice, sweet.
side.
Jesper wants to help people, wants to take care of people who maybe
And
will want to take care of me a little bit now, once in a while, when I'm feeling a little sad by the fireside at night. When the mood comes upon me and I'm melancholy and in my cups and I pull out the old sitar and start playing a little tune.
I will happily take care of you for as long as either of us have left.
Then I'll do the same. Whatever. For as long as we
Forever.
live.
And that's going to be a very long time. I manifest into the world. We're certainly not dying in these freaky mines.
Outside, the alarm bells are ringing. You look over to the other side of the village. You hear the unmistakable sounds of fighting, steel ringing against steel, creatures screaming, people calling out in pain, asking for help. Solus doesn't move. He stays where he is, looking towards where the fracas is happening. What do you do?
I think as soon as they heard the alarm bells, Iona was probably up on her feet grabbing her bow, and she would go to make her way towards where all the fighting is happening, and she would look back at Solus, kind of expecting him to like be falling in step with her. And when he isn't, she kind of gives him a questioning glance.
He says, there are great things afoot. There are important things to do. Sometimes decisions have to be made in the moment that seem to be the right one, and perhaps down the line they turn out to have been terrible ones, but we have to make the best decisions that we can in the moment. This is insignificant compared to everything else that's to come. We have other things to do.
But we could help them, can't we?
Can we?
Can't you?
I can do no more than you could. Some will die, but some will die regardless. This is one of those times when the river has to take a slightly different course.
I think that there's a real like confliction for Iona right now.
He moves over to you. And he comes up really close. And he says, I made the mistake once of favoring one above everybody else. And all that it did was create 1,000 years of slaughter and death. We cannot allow ourselves to see only the one thing that is in front of us. It is not just the tree we are trying to save, but the entire forest.
Iona glances back over her shoulder, probably hearing the screams for help. And she's going to softly say, Irabellas. And she's going to follow Solus.
Meanwhile, the lot of you eventually, by hook and by crook, make your way out of the underground where you were. You breathe the fresh air outside with such emotion. You really had not thought that you would ever get to breathe fresh air again. The night sky above your head is beautiful, clear, dark and constellated with the stars. Beautiful little pinpoints of light that shimmer and glimmer in the darkness. When you look at it, you perhaps think of those sweet little moments that bring a little bit of light to what is quite often a very dark existence in this world. The moments of a sweet first kiss, the moments of finding out people care about you, the moments of healing, of learning, of joy. They seem so few and far between, almost like the space between the stars, but when you stand back and you take it all in, their combined light shines through and illuminates the full darkness of the night. And then the clanging begins. The clanging of alarm bells. You look down into the valley. You see a small village. You see flames, fires. You hear the alarm bells. You hear the sound of fighting. You know now where the Darkspawn went. Chea looks at you and says, "This is what Grey Wardens do." And he turns and he begins running down the hill towards the village. What do the rest of you do?
We feel this pull now, right? As a Grey Warden.
As you get closer to the village, you're going to feel the presence of the Darkspawn, yes. And once we know who's going down and what you're doing, I will describe that for you.
Yes.
But what do you do?
Jasper goes. She takes off, starts running after Chael with little thought of anything else.
What does Theodora do?
Quick question. What does Murray do?
Murray is looking at you.
Oh.
I'm gonna look at Murray and I'm gonna go, I would like to go back to Navarra, if you don't want any of this. And the plains are a long place.
You wish to do this right now?
Tired of whatever's happening here.
It's a long walk.
I mean, you see, I'm not very good at defending myself, and I don't know if any of this is worth it.
She takes a few steps towards you and says, "You're also not very good at hiding your surprise and emotion sometimes."
I want out. I'm gonna take the dagger out. I'm gonna try and very slowly take the dagger out. I'm going to look her in the eye, and I'm going to throw it back into the hole that we just climbed out of.
Who put you up to this, Tevinter?
Always seems to be. You're from Orlais, yes?
Originally, yes.
I'm going to try and step back very slowly.
He's not moving. He just looks at you. It's a long walk.
It's a very long walk.
Let's start walking.
Good luck.
She reaches around her back and pulls out a water skin and about half full throws it to you. Light of Andraste shine on you.
And you as well. We're both gonna need it.
And she's gonna stand there and watch you walk away.
I'm also watching her as I walk away.
She's not gonna do anything. Once you're clearly on your way, she will turn and head back down the valley. You run down the valley. You approach what appears to be an elven village, which is very strange. You might have heard rumors of lost elves in the plains, but certainly not to this extent, not a whole village of them. You run towards them. You can see that at the other end of the village there is combat, there is war. As you approach the village, something starts to happen to you, Jesper and Viola. It starts in your blood. You feel this almost like tingling sensation all the way deep inside your veins. And as it grows in intensity as you get closer and closer to the village, you feel a sense of familiarity. It's not what you expected. You expected some sort of danger sense, some sort of instinctual repulsion or warning of danger, but instead you feel a sense of familiarity. There is something nearby that is now, to a certain degree, very similar to you.
Mm-hmm.
And you can feel their presence. And as you run into the village, the clanging bells, the sound of fire and fury, Jesper, you see Iona on the front porch of the building. She is talking to another elf, a tall, bald elf. I will give you a little representation on the map so you have an idea.
Okay.
They are up there. A lot of you are coming in through here.
Okay.
Okay.
Oh, his icon is so cute. I have to point it out.
So cute. So true. I think Jesper sees Iona, and the first instinct is for her to call out Iona's name with like a relieved smile, like, "Oh my gods, you're alive. Nothing happened to you. You're here." That's
Iona, you hear, just as you say your words to Solace, you hear your name ring out across the plaza of the village. It cuts through the din of battle, it cuts through the roaring and the dying, and the lights in your ear.
I don't think that Iona turns around. Because if she does, her resolve will crumble.
I don't think she gets it. I don't think Jesper gets it. I think she's like thinks that you don't hear her, so she calls out for you again. She says, Iona, I'm here. I'm okay.
And as you say that, you hear a sound from behind you, you and Viola both. You hear Braun scream in pain. And you turn and see coming out.
This bitch! Oh no! Sorry.
The group that you had encountered in the caves beneath Hasmal, the one who is supposedly a former warden, the Kunari warrior, Kunari mercenary, and Merite, the Blood Mage. You turn in time to see Braun scream in pain and fall to his knees as his skin is turning red, and you can tell that his blood is boiling inside of his body, and he crumples to the ground. Initiative.
Yeah.
Oh,
Can I use a dragon mark on initiative?
Yeah, sure. At the other edge of the village, of course, there is a whole bunch of Hurlocks and an ogre fighting the elves of the village.
Of course.
This will be fine, I'm sure.
Also, map is currently not on stream.
The map is on screen.
Oh, stream.
Oh, I can see
I
it.
can see it.
Yeah, it's on screen.
Mine froze the second.
Oops.
Things happen in the best families. No worries.
I love it was working, and then it literally is the second before, and then the second you said it, it unfroze.
See?
It's
Yeah,
playing with you.
it's voice activated.
Okay, I rolled a 12.
It's like I should mention it while we're not doing anything.
I got a 13.
14.
E.
I'm not here.
Let me just get my bug guy stats. The bug guys. Just a bunch of bug guys.
Just a bunch of bad guys.
All
I rolled a
right.
double
Please.
threes and it doesn't even do anything for me right now.
All right, we're doing initiative. Give me a second. I will take your initiatives in a sec.
I'm gonna roll for fun.
Just to be involved.
I just want to be included.
Oh, I rolled real well actually.
Hey.
All right, let's go with Iona. What's your initiative? Sorry.
14.
Jesper,
12.
Viola,
13.
Okay. Bahal goes first. The Kunari mercenary charges forward, engaging Mireille in combat as Mireille turns around, alerted by Braun's screams, and turns in time to face as she comes in with powerful axe blow, and the two of them start fighting. Braun at 15 rolls over on the ground, blood oozing out of his pores, squirming in pain. Solus hesitates for a moment and then stops and then looks at Iona to see what she does, and then it's Iona.
Iona moves past Solus and makes to leave.
In order to leave, you have to go down there. Mireille Merite will go ahead and gonna target. I think she's gonna target Viola. Got a bit of a bone to pick with Viola.
Be fine.
Let's not kid ourselves. She would have shot Theodora if Theodora had been here. is what Theodore did the other day, but
Oh yeah, for sure.
as she arcane bolts you with a success, a bolt of arcane energy springs from her hand and streaks towards Viola, inflicting 2d6 damage with bonus equal to the dragon die, which was a 6. You can make a dexterity acrobatics test.
13.
13?
13. Yeah,
It's
13.
unfortunately not good enough. You will take the full damage, which will amount to 15 points of damage.
Ew.
As her arcane bolt reaches out, it's this blood red bolt that just emerges from a wound in her hand like this blood dart and just shoots out and strikes you right in the chest and sends you reeling. Viola at 13.
Amazing. I am going to get up and never mind. Effects. That doesn't heal anybody else. I will go ahead and just go back after Murete and do sorry, I wrote it weird on my page. My Blood Mage thing. Hold on, I'm sorry.
Which one?
I opened my my wrong PDF. Sorry, give me just a second. It's the first ability where I still roll. Where did it go? I apologize.
You can, if you tell me the name of the spell, maybe I have it on. Blood wound?
I can't. That's it.
Blood wound. Target number is 17. Cost 8 MP.
Yeah. I will go ahead and cast that.
That's a area of effect, right?
Correct.
Okay.
Correct.
So you go ahead and roll that.
Okay, I pulled
I
it
get
up.
to make a Constitution. What's your spell power?
And it is. It's not very strong. 14.
Okay.
It is not that
So
strong.
go ahead and roll against 17.
Okay. 2, 6. Damn, that's only a 11.
Unfortunately, do you want to throw down with 2 dragon marks?
Ooh, yeah, let's do that.
All right.
I'm gonna do that.
Get
So
to roll the next
11.
36.
5. I'll go ahead and use 2 for 1. I have 6, so I'll add 4 to that, and then I'm gonna use 2 more dragon marks. So I'll use. Oh, perfect. Okay, so in total that would be 21 in total because I got a 4 and a 6, and I'll use 4 dragon marks in total.
All right. Excellent.
So 1 and 1. I might as well.
Okie dokie. So you're gonna roll. You do 1d6 plus magic penetrating damage to all targets, all enemies within 12 yards of you.
Yeah. That is going to be 5. That's amazing. I love that. Damage. Yeah. That's fair. And then their next turn.
It can only take minor actions.
Yep.
One of them made the Constitution check, so 2 of them can only take minor actions.
Okay.
Excellent.
And then that'll be my turn.
At 13, also, Scorius is going to go He rushes forward and just totally ignores you, Viola, and rushes for Jesper. He comes over and spins his axe around and goes to hit you with the flat of the blade. I'm gonna hit 13.
Yeah, that hits.
All right. You're going to take 7 plus 6, 12 damage.
Okay.
As he knocks him aside the head and you kind of go reeling a little bit. At 12, you get to go.
Yeah, okay. Choices. Okay, first I took 12 damage there, so that's not fantastic. Okay. Jesper is going to, she gets smacked in the head. She's kind of reeling, and her eyes focus on this person. Everything's happening. Braun's on the ground. She's upset. She's been successfully distracted from whatever's going on with Iona. She's so sure that her friend is going to come help them.
She obviously is on the way, you can tell.
Yeah, she's obviously on the way. Jesper can tell. So she's going to cast miasm again. A sickly green mist radiates out along the ground from my feet. All enemies within 10 yards of me at the start of their turns make a constitution check against my spell power or suffer a -2 penalty to defense and a -2 to all attacks. And subjects must make this test each turn they begin in the miasm or upon entering the miasm. And I'll just keep doing that. So do I have to roll to hit the target number for the spell?
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm going to use a dragon mark. I really want it. I really want it, so I'm gonna get it. And this is also entropy, so I get so many bonuses to this. Yeah, so I do in fact hit the target number of 15. I'm not doing this math. So the spell casts, and now everyone within 30 feet of me, well, not everyone, only my enemies from the center of me.
30 feet?
30 feet. It's I think, yeah, it's 10 yards, which I believe is 30 feet.
Is it radius or?
It radiates. It's a circle around me.
Phoebus.
Yeah, I love this spell. I'm a huge fan of this spell for a reason.
All right, excellent.
And that was a major action, but because I have that fun word that starts with a C, chirurgy, because I have that talent, I can use heal as a minor action. Okay. So I'm going to cast this spell, and then I'm going to move over to Braun, and I'm going to use heal on him, and I'm also going to use a dragon mark for this. So I think I'm only down to 2 left.
Excellent. So as you're doing that, Chael runs over and intercepts this guy, Scorius. And as Chael runs to him, Scorius goes, "Ah, Chael, Your brother says hello as he swings his axe towards him.
God, I hate this guy.
Back up to the top. What do I have to roll? You said a Constitution?
Yes, Constitution against my spell power.
What's your spell power?
15.
Okay, and what happens if they fail?
If they fail, they take a -2 to defense and a -2 on attacks.
Okay.
And that is a...
All right. So
14.
these two are battling. Braun is trying to get to his feet as you're trying to heal him.
Yeah.
His bleeding seems to have stopped. He kind of stumbles up. Iona at 14. Falls.
Um,
A moment.
Mm-hmm.
Falls is clearly heading this way.
Iona is going to begin to walk after him. And I think she can't help herself, but she looks back over her shoulder to see Jesper there. And I think that Iona reminds herself that she's done this before. She's left people to die before, and she can do it again. And she's going to continue to follow him.
Solus says as you get up to him. What litters our path behind us is of no importance. All that matters is the path forward.
She doesn't say anything in response.
Mireille at 14 is fighting. Merite is going to step back because she's like, fuck this noise. And she is done playing around with Jesper. She's had enough. And so he is going to cast gonna hit. You get to make a Constitution Stamina versus her willpower, Jesper. And that target is 17.
Muted tot.
I rolled a 19.
You rolled a 19?
I rolled a 19, thank Christ.
Excellent. So you're only going to take a little bit of damage. You're going to take 8 damage.
Okay.
As your blood starts to boil in your veins. And as it happens, and you know the boil, your blood's starting to boil, and you kind of drop to your knees as the pain kind of racks through your body. You see Scorius look over his shoulders like, "No, she's not to be killed." He continues fighting Chael. Mila at 13.
Okay, we are. I'm still gonna go after Merite. I want to get her down. I almost want to put her in a bubble, but I feel like that's not going to help a lot. I'm gonna go ahead and whack her with my hypnotist staff, I'm going to go ahead and just use an arcane lance.
Okay.
Because it will give the target a -2 penalty on willpower. And then it also gives me a +1 on attack. And then I'm going to do the arcane lance for that. And then, let me see. That's going to be 6, 7, 8, 12 for an attack to hit.
Yeah, what's the target number?
The target number for that...
It's
for my staff? Is it
it's like a
on the
normal
staff?
it's like a normal attack, yeah. It's just like doing a range, so it's the defense.
I copied everything that you...
Yeah, no, I have it. It's the defense,
for that.
which is
Did I miss
10,
it?
so the target is 10.
Okay, 10. Okay, so 10. So I get her.
Yeah. How much damage?
And then let's go with...
Let's do the willpower.
That's a 1. That's awful. That 1 plus... So 6 total.
Okay.
From the arcane lance. Amazing. I love that.
That's good. Some damage is good.
Some is good, but it would be better if it was more.
Indubitably. Anything else you want to do? You want to move, or are you okay where you are?
I feel like I'm in a good spot, because if I go either direction, I'll kind of shift it this way a little bit. Not very far. And then I think I should be good.
Scorius goes. He attempts to break away from Chael, but Chael pushes him and continues pushing on him as he's attempting to reach Esper, whose turn it is now at 12.
I think I'm going to take advantage of the fact that this guy is close to me. And I'm going to cast Drain Life on him. I suck the energy out of the visible target within 10 yards to heal myself. So let me cast that. I'm not going to use a Dragon Mark this time. I'm going to hold on to my last Dragon Mark. You never know when you might need it. Which is fine. Okay, cool. So that is math. 11, 1 plus 20, 14 plus 2. Yeah, 6. Okay, I definitely... Yeah, the target number is only a 12 and I rolled like a 16.
Okay.
Yeah, so now he takes 1d6 plus magic penetrating damage, and I'm healed by the same amount. Magic penetrating damage? Oh god. I don't know what that is. Magic penetrating damage specifically. Let me just roll my one.
Does it stay in the spell what the penetration is, or it's probably one of your abilities, to be honest? One of your traits?
It just says 1d6 plus magic penetrating damage. So I'm assuming that's my
sheet.
Magic. On my character sheet?
Yeah, it doesn't say your penetrating damage.
No. Don't think so.
Okay. We'll just call it 4 for now.
Okay, so that is going to be, please be 10. Please be 10. I think that'd be so cool if I rolled a 6 and it ended up to 10. I think that'd be really cool. Well, that's not that. So I rolled a 3 plus 4. That's 7. So I get 7 hit points back.
Okay, cool. And you take
And
7?
he takes 7 damage. Yeah.
Nice.
We're trading.
Nice.
I hate this guy. So that's up to that now, which isn't a lot, but we'll take it. And I spend 2 more mana points to maintain my miasm as well.
Excellent.
And I stay by Braun's side. I still have 6 dragon marks.
Chill continues to push him forward, and you hear coming from up top the building this high-pitched shriek, and suddenly this strange looking darkspawn shriek, called the shriek because it shrieks, with blades attached to its arms, drops down on Chael, hitting him in the chest with its blade, then rolling him away from Scorius and freeing Scorius from Chael's attacks. This thing drops on him and it's just shrieking as it's stabbing and stabbing and stabbing. You see blood just flowing everywhere, and Chael's like trying to push it off. He's got his axe up and he's like pushing against it and trying to get it off of him. Back up to the top. Bahal and Mireille are having the fight of their lives over here. Braun is finally kind of up, and he looks behind him at Chael, sees what's happening, sees you now next to Scorius, sees Marite there, and you flash back for a moment at the conversation you had on top of the building in Hasmal, where he talked about how he had followed his first instinct and not gone to save you, but instead had gone to do what would help the group. And you remember him saying that it was going to be increasingly difficult for him to do that. And you see it in his eyes when he looks at you. And he looks at Chael. And he turns and draws his axes and runs towards Marite. At 14, Iona.
She's gone.
You watch over your shoulder as Iona climbs up after the other elf and disappears. At 14, Marite casts a spell on Braun. You hear him scream in pain as she draws blood from him, and again you can see her magic just reach into him and start boiling his blood from the inside as he screams and tries to get up to her to hit her. Viola at 13.
Oh, this chick. I swear. Transport like any kind of transport spell would be amazing in this game. Again, I'm gonna get closer to Marite. But I'll go ahead and we're gonna give her own medicine back. She's again no, is that stronger? Oof. Okay, let's do... I'm gonna go ahead and do Mind Blast at her. Let's see... No, I'm sorry. I feel like I'm indecisive because I feel like we're gonna die. let's do let's just do blood wound back at Marite.
Okay.
I'm gonna try, let's see, 5, 8, 10. I'm gonna use 2 of my dragon marks.
Oh, excellent.
Because I'll need to get it up, because I got a 13. I have to make a 17. 13 plus 5, 18, 19 for my test. 19 versus a 17 test.
That's good.
And then she needs to make a
Constitution?
stamina test.
Stamina?
Yeah, a constitution.
Which she fails?
Yeah. Amazing. So you're going to see essentially the same thing that just happened to Braun. That's 1d6 plus 5. It does say penetrating damage. So that's going to be 10 points of the penetrating damage. And then for the next turn, they can only make a minor action.
Okay.
And then that's a major.
Excellent. Remind me the damage. That was 10?
Correct. Yes.
All right. She seems wounded.
Okay. And then that'll be my turn.
Excellent.
Because I can't do anything else.
Jesper. You have Scorius in your face. You have
I do.
Chael getting stabbed repeatedly by the Shrieker. And you have Braun right in the face of Marite.
Yeah, I know.
What do you wish to do? You also have Iona who's gone.
I wish to do a great many things. I think at some point Jesper did look back and sees that Iona is gone, and it just crushes her spirit so intensely. She was holding out so much hope that something had happened, but the truth was that Iona left, and she was probably always going to leave, and Jesper just wasn't enough for her to stay for. And I think everyone she loves is being hurt right now. And she feels so powerless. No. I think she sees that Viola is like going after Marite.
Mm-hmm.
She can only hope that whatever Viola does will be enough to save Braun and to get rid of Marite. I think she's going to cast Paralyze on the thing that's going after Chael. So let me do that, and I'm gonna use a Dragon Mark because apparently I have 6 of those, not 1 of those like I thought I did. Oh, please, just be kind to me today of all days. Well, okay.
So
that's very
the whole thing about the penetrating damage is just that it ignores armor.
Oh, well, look at that. Okay, so that's 6 plus 5 is 11 plus 4 is 15, 15 plus 3. Yeah, so I hit the target number of paralyzed, which is 16 in this case.
Awesome.
And she sticks out her hand, and from her hand these ghostly wisps of entropic energy surround the thing that's on Chael, and it has to make a Constitution stamina check and against my power.
What's your power?
Which is 15.
Okay, it fails.
It's completely unable to move now, and the effect lasts for the rest of the encounter. A paralyzed target gets a new test at the start of their turn each round. They lose dexterity bonuses to their defense and can take no actions. Yeah. So she does that, and she starts like backing away from Scorius, which hopefully is enough to put Marite within the miasm, which I spend another two mana points to keep up.
Excellent. Havoc RPG, thank you so much for the raid. Like some Dragon Age TTRPG here. We appreciate you coming in at this most tense of moments. Chael's action on his turn, weakly, but now seeing the creature on top of him paralyzed, reaches for his axe, swings it, and his axe cuts right through its head. You see the creature's head fly off as he pushes the body over to the side, and he looks up at you, and you can see the pride in his eyes, what you've just done, which is when Scorius, who had not yet acted, takes a step forward and says, "Your brother will thank me," and buries his sword again deep into Chael's chest. You watch, almost in slow motion, as the blade digs deep right into his chest. His eyes go wide, his mouth opens, but you hear nothing. And just see the blood pouring from the wound. And you watch as Scorius puts his foot right in Chael's face and pushes him off his sword. And turns around, starts to walk towards you. Braun, on his action, strikes Marite with his axe. She hits to one knee, direly wounded, as his axe bites deep into her chest. He does not see anything that's happening behind him. He's just focused on her. Violet, 13. I'm sorry. I'm so dreadfully sorry. Marite gets to go at 14. Actually, no, she only gets to take a minor action because of the blood. So she tries to get away from Braun. Viola.
Oh, sorry. How is Marite looking at this moment?
Pretty banged up.
Fantastic. We're gonna go for gold. I'm gonna blood wound her one more time, and hopefully it'll take her out. Let me roll for it. 3, 7, 8, 9. Okay, cool. Chat said I had some die left. I'm gonna use my last 2 because that's not enough. 9, 14. Okay, that'll do it. 20 in total to make that target number of 17. So she has to make... Yeah,
when she
so
fails,
she has
her
to make...
stamina's pretty low.
Okay.
Doing some damage?
5... that's going to be 10 points of damage. And then again, if she doesn't die now, she's going to have that next turn. She can only do...
Well, in fact, partial. You should describe to me what it looks like as you kill this Blood Mage.
Amazing. Viola is like, even though she's feeling everything in this moment, she's very focused on finishing Marite off. So she steps forward just a little bit, and both of her hands will come up. And as she locks in with this blood wound, her Marite's blood will start to boil, and you can physically see her moving as Viola lifts up, and the blood just boils straight like through her body and then comes out like her eyes. I don't want to get like too graphic, but
It's okay.
and as that happens, like she passes out. She doesn't just pass out, she dies. And she hits the ground dead. Good. Ugh, hate her. And as she's like boiling to her death, she'll hear Viola go, "We'll find your third, whoever that was, and I don't need you here for it," as she like falls to the ground. I don't know who the third person is, but that'll be something.
That'll be something for Ancha. But she crumples to the ground, dead finally after all this time. Scorius steps up to you now. Actually, he's going to have to go at the end because he waited and used his action, so now he's going to go at the end. So he's going to go right now. Actually, he's going to stay there. Jesper at 12.
I don't want him to go anywhere, so Jesper is going to cast Paralyze on him too.
Go!
Use a Dragon Mark. I hate him, and I want him dead. Oh, I wish this spell did damage. That was such a good roll. Yeah, I definitely hit the target number, right? 6 plus 11, 13 plus 3 plus 2, because it's that. Yeah. So I think I rolled a 17 for the target number 16.
That's good.
I love casting entropy spells so much. So yeah, he has to succeed now on a Constitution Stamina check against me. 15.
Do you want to spend a Dragon Mark point to make him roll another Dragon die and take the lowest one?
Yeah, why not? I'll do that.
Good. He fails his roll now.
Okay, so now he's paralyzed. He's unable to move. He's unable
Isn't
to
that
move.
for the rest of combat?
It's for the rest of the encounter. He gets a new test at the start of their turn each round, but the effect, like, it's not an effect that I have to maintain.
Okay,
It's just he has to continue failing is what needs to happen.
Okay.
You hear from behind you the gurgling sound of death as, wounded and near the end of her strength, Mireille finishes off the Talvashoth mercenary. And now all your eyes turn to Scorius, who is standing there, paralyzed. You each get one action. What would you like to do?
With my death sight, if I look at Chael, is there any chance?
No.
Yeah. Oh, man.
I don't have anything for him.
Blake, you'll let me do something for flavor, won't you?
Of course.
Jesper's going to walk past Scorius. She's going to walk up to Chael's body. She's going to kneel down and close his eyes and press a kiss to his forehead. And she's going to pick up his sword. And she's going to walk back over to where Scorius is standing there, paralyzed.
His eyes are wide, staring at you with anger.
You're not going to hunt me anymore. It's over. You lost. And she's going to, with 2 hands, because she's just a mage, she's going to lift Chael's sword, and she's going to impale it through Scorius' stomach, up through his back, and she's going to hold it there and watch him die.
And it takes a few moments as he just keeps staring at you with that intensity that says, the second I break free of this, I'm going to take this sword and I'm going to plunge it in your throat.
Mm-hmm.
And that intensity remains until the light goes out in his eyes.
Oh.
And your spell lets go, and he crumples to the ground, pulling the sword out of your hand with him as he goes, because it's so heavy. And he falls to the ground and doesn't move.
We still have the Darkspawn to deal with.
Yeah, we do.
Braun is at your side. He puts a hand around you and helps you stay up. You okay?
No, but that can wait. That has to wait. Just don't. Not you two, okay? You can't do that.
He nods. Then he looks at the rest of the Darkspawn that are coming in, fighting the elves, this almost overwhelming wave of them. And he says, this is what Grey Wardens do. And he reaches down and he pulls Bale's massive 2-handed sword out of Scorius' body. And he puts it and plants it down and hands it to you. You're gonna have to grow stronger.
I will be. I will be.
He looks over his shoulder at you, Viola, and Mireille, who's hobbling over but very determined.
Viola has walked over to Murete's body and has looked for any letters or items. So when when he looks back at her, she's just yeah, that.
You go through her body and you find nothing really of interest. Her staff looks interesting, so you perhaps take that.
Yeah.
And then just as you're about to leave, you stop. And then you come back and you look. And you see on her hand a ring. A ring that you've seen before.
Oh, shit. Okay, cool. I'm also gonna cut that finger off and not touch it with my hand. I'll wrap it in something, but I'm not touching that ring at all.
Meanwhile,
and she'll tuck it away, for later.
Meanwhile, Theodora, walking along an empty road heading towards Navarra. You've been walking for a very long time. Your feet are getting tired. Your back is sore. You notice the sun is just about to come up over yonder. Well, fancy meeting you here. How'd it go?
Same as last time. Terribly.
Theodora, what am I going to do with you?
Does anybody do with me?
Well, you are a bit of a disappointment. Over and over and over, but I suppose you know that.
Nothing if but consistent.
There is something to be said for consistency. Consistency, rather. Consistence would be a completely different thing. Well, lucky for you, Theodora, I don't give up easily. When I set my mind to something, very little can dissuade me seeing it through. Would you like some company on your walk? We can discuss how you may still serve the Antivan Crows. I mean, it's that or I kill you.
I was really expecting you to do that at the beginning, so I suppose things were looking up.
I've thought about it a few times. But you throw away a tool, even if it's broken, you can never mend it and never use it for anything else. Best to keep them on hand. You never know when you might find a use for it. Even a broken axe can become a nice little doorstop, or a broken spear can hold up your plant. There's always something useful to be done with something. Now, don't give me that face. Now, tell me, what did you do with my knife?
I got rid of it. What was I gonna do? If they're gonna find it on me.
He stops, and he looks at you. Meanwhile, somewhere else, the sun is coming up on a road that is not in this world. That is somewhere else. A strange place, Iona, that you've only visited in dreams. But you walk along with Solus, and he says, "Regrets?"
I think she looks around her. No. Regrets are for the past.
And certainly not for wolves. Well done, my friends. We ended this story with the Dissonant verses